Welcome to my ready room. I'm Murdoch. This is 5 Minute Trek, where I've got not 5 today. We're going to take 10 minutes to give you the rundown on a Star Trek vessel. Because there's a lot of stuff to go over. Today we're looking at the Miranda-Class, and a bunch of its variants. Starfleet's most notorious workhorse. When it comes to the Miranda-Class, everybody's first thought is the USS Reliant, because of one Khan Noonien Singh having managed to hijack it and go after Kirk's Enterprise. But what if I told you the Miranda-Class actually existed in the few different configurations before its known silhouette was finalized? Early versions of the Miranda-Class and the competing frigate design, the Malachowski, or Malachowski, however you want to pronounce it, both existed in the 2250s. The Malachowski would be relegated and modified to be a tugboat, or rather, tug ship, due to its own issues. These early Miranda types, as I'll be calling them from now on, included the Anton class, its refitted Reliant class, where externally these two ship classes basically looked like the same ship, but only with subtle differences and toss-era flair. The superstructure of the Miranda class as we know it from the Wrath of Khan wouldn't be finalized until sometime in the 2270s. Every time the Miranda types got a refit or a makeover, the Federation was always making sure they got whatever was the new standard from a technological standpoint for the day. This would be wildly successful with the Miranda we all know and love, the USS Reliant, as it used many components by the now proven Constitution refit classes, most famously the Enterprise and Enterprise A. And they built a lot of them. The great design aspect of what made the Miranda different from other vessels was its roll bar and mission pod mounted above the saucer section. Several Mirandas have somehow managed to last a full century of service after several refits and retrofits every few decades. Speaking of refits and retrofits, oh boy, there's a few here we should probably take a few seconds to go over. Most of these variant refits seem to be little experiments over the course of the 24th century, but they all serve their purpose. First off, we have the Saratoga, which deletes the roll bar in favor of some pretty massive-looking cannons mounted on either side of the ship. Also made famous thanks to one Ben the Sisko, Commandant of Deep Space Nine, after the Saratoga he was serving on was destroyed in the Battle of Wolf 359. The next most iconic variant in this line is the Soyuz class, which has some other interesting modifications done to the basic Miranda shape. In the center of the aft saucer section, as they already had to modify it to hold the turret towers, which appear to have been repurposed from another famous space franchise. What? Oh yeah, so this thing has a third shuttle bay and twin phaser cannon turrets on the cardinal axes mounted near the aft portion of the ship. Next entry on this list is actually its own class altogether, but it shares many features with the Miranda and is often included as part of its family, the Shikar class. Funny enough, this isn't even a human Starfleet design, but a Vulcan submission, aimed to pull more efficiency out of the contemporary parts that would have been used at the time. Another modernized frigate from the 24th century with common ancestry is the Centaur class, which also sprung up as a bit of a competitor to the Miranda in the 2280s, and ultimately used as cannon fodder in the Dominion War. The Centaur was another product of the We need numbers, fast, and cheap mentality that Starfleet tends to lean towards when a war of attrition breaks out.
Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secure
the
channel.
Admiralty can yell at me later, okay? I'm telling it like it is. Well, that's about all the older versions you'll see still flying about in this Federation space or on our borders. But what about the newer stuff? The variants from the 25th century, you say? Don't worry, I'm getting there. There's one more variant that is yet to make an appearance in Star Trek Online that, as of this recording, I hope it does in the future. Even though they just gave us another one I'll be covering in a moment. And that ship class is the Marion. Or Marion, I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Marion. Yell at me in the chat, or the comments, sorry, and tell me what's what. This thing is a properly modernized Miranda in every way. And I might just be partial a little bit to the spearhead-styled saucer. 3 Marion-class vessels were assigned to Project Full Circle and got to field test the then-new quantum slipstream drive that would later get limited mass production. As for 25th century resurgence of the Miranda, we have the reminted Reliant class, a maneuverable high-performance light cruiser, making it a more dependable workhorse and live up to its name. Its sister variant, and the brand new, recently launched Bozeman class, is more of a spiritual successor to the Soyuz, complete with a 3rd shuttle bay and top and side-mounted weapons pods. It's classified as a heavy frigate. It also has a cloaking device, and, for the amount of heat it's packing, I'm not going to question it. The last variant on this list gets its design callbacks from the Malachowski and Centaur, and that is the Clark class. This particular machine is more of a science-leaning flight deck cruiser, and its streamlined profile makes it a bit harder to try and hit it head-on compared to many of its cousins. And its main purpose is to be the vanguard of reinforcement fleets. As you can see, Starfleet just loves to play with this highly modular and configurable ship class to suit its needs, and still keep it as cost-effective as possible. Between the Corps of Engineers and the Advanced Ship Design Bureau, they're always coming up with new and different ways to make the Miranda play. So you know what? I decided for giggles, I'm gonna jump on that bandwagon too, and tender this kit bash to the Bureau. Who knows? They might actually like it. I present the USS Clydesdale. And before you ask, yes, I named her ironically. Tell me what you think in the comments. That's it for this episode. I'll see you in the next one.